Now, I know you're used to seeing a feline in this position doing an introduction or whatever, but he's currently out at the moment preparing for his summer job, so I'm taking the reins. It says here that he wants me to talk about a recent change that has been brought to his attention, and that kind of concerns him a little bit, and then apparently I'm supposed to give my own opinions or something, so I reckon we're gonna go and do that. Now, the change in question has been towards the stealth detection potion. They've updated the tooltip to read 100 meters of stealth detection for about 16 seconds. And at first glance, I could see this being a plus. As you know, I'm a meta, well, you probably don't know, but I'm a meta user. I just stick to the playstyles that are the most effective for the current patch, and I always do find it a bit difficult to deal with Nightblades, especially ones that tend to know what they're doing quite well. His main cause for concern in these notes is how other playstyles that are also niches constantly receive love and adjustment to make them more impactful in gameplay scenarios. And he's right. Now that I think about it, over the last 2 weeks I've been doing trials and dungeon undaunted dailies, and about every DPS in those instances is a heavy attack sorcerer running storm masters and sergeants. It's ridiculous. And the same thing in PvP. Where dot builds didn't used to be as effective, they are now probably the best in slot kind of builds that you can play simply because of the meta that we're currently in. Those builds used to be niches and you never saw anyone running around playing those kind of specs. And maybe in PvE you had a few of them and you had some dot builds there too, but now they're just everywhere. And he's upset that his specific niche playstyle, which is stealth, just constantly seems to lack in the love department from the developers. And especially I can see it, because those changes to the detect potion are really only going to affect the ability to PvP. And another thing he lists in his concern, it says he doesn't like how each of those things are not mentioned in the patch notes. And he's right. They did not mention the nerf to the damage multiplier and stealth in the patch notes. They did not mention the nerf and change to crystal weapon and imbue weapon not being able to be cast in stealth in the patch notes, and now they're not mentioning the fact that your detect potion has a 100-meter radius on it. It's ridiculous. I understand why he's upset. Now, I don't play stealth-related builds hardly ever, if at all. Now, I've dabbled in it. Maybe I played Nightblade a few times, but that's not my first choice. Like I said, I'm a meta user. But even I could see that this is a bit of a cause for concern because 100 meters is literally the render distance in PvP. And there's absolutely no reason you need to have full render distance coverage of being able to detect somebody. 20 meters is just fine. And if you're going to leave it at 100 meters, I think at least the duration of it should be chipped down a little bit to like 7 seconds. Because if you cannot kill a Nightblade with 100 meters of detection in about 7 seconds, you do not deserve to get that kill in the first place, alright? And I don't see what the problem with detect potions were in the first place and why they needed to be buffed so heavily like this. They were just fine. They did their job just fine, but now they're overperforming. Definitely a weird change and definitely something that should have been mentioned in the patch notes. And yeah, he says here we should keep an eye on the stealth mechanic changes in the future, as it seems that ZeniMax is constantly trying to gut the playstyle for whatever reason. Yeah, I do agree with him after seeing all the changes and stuff he's put forward. So we should keep an eye on it, because this playstyle seems to be really fun for him. So I don't know, maybe it's fun for you guys too. Honestly, I never could get into it. Maybe that's why they're nerfing it. It's not the most accessible thing in the world, but I mean, think about it. You're just pressing a button to go invisible, but you also have crouching too. This is a mechanic that you can expand upon and learn so much about and how to use it properly, but ZeniMax just keeps taking away the ability to explore it further because they're not incentivizing you to learn how to use it. So it's just really weird. I agree with him. But yeah, I think that is gonna wrap it up. He doesn't have anything else here at the bottom, so that means my job is done. And yeah, guys, I know how he ends his videos, but I'm not doing that. I'm just gonna tell you to have a good night. So, yeah, have a good night.